Sure. Below is a rewritten version of the story, based on your outline and instructions, with character names changed, told in a dramatic, natural, and emotionally gripping tone, within approximately 3,500 characters. What happens when you mistake power for passivity? When you think someone's silence means permission? On a late afternoon flight from Denver to San Francisco, a flight attendant made that mistake and it cost her everything. Dr. Naomi Alice settled into seat 2A in first class, craving nothing but peace after a brutal week of high-stakes meetings. As the founder and CEO of Helix Dynamics, a renewable energy giant, she had faced enough pressure to flatten most people. Now, all she wanted was ginger ale and 2 hours without having to defend her place at the table. That hope disintegrated the moment the Middletons boarded. Darren and Amanda Middleton were the type of rich that was loud. He wore a tracksuit made of a fabric that looked allergic to taste. She carried a handbag so bright it could guide lost hikers. Their assigned seats were in row 3, directly behind Naomi. But that wouldn't do. Not for people like them. The flight attendant, whose name tag read Carla, approached Naomi with a syrupy smile that masked something sour. "We are experiencing a slight weight and balance issue. I'm going to have to ask you to switch seats." "To row 14. Naomi blinked. "For balance?" "Yes, it's just for safety." "The captain." Naomi cut her off. "Seat 2B is empty." "You're saying moving me alone fixes the weight issue?" Carla hesitated, then gestured subtly toward the Middletons. "They're traveling together. We'd like to keep them seated side by side." So it wasn't about weight. It was about entitlement. A white couple complained. A black woman was asked to move. It was an old playbook dusted off and delivered with a fake smile. Naomi didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She simply said, "No." Carla's mask cracked. "If you refuse to comply, we'll involve the captain." "Please do," Naomi replied, calm as steel. Minutes later, Captain Frank Delaney appeared, all business and bluster. "I understand you're refusing a crew instruction." "I'm refusing a lie," Naomi said. "This isn't about flight safety. It's about appeasing a couple who think my presence in first class is a mistake." He gave her the final warning: move to economy or be removed. Naomi looked him in the eye. Then she pulled out her phone. She didn't record. She didn't threaten. She called a man named Julian Tran, the same man who managed the charter contract Helix Dynamics held with the airline. This wasn't a commercial flight. It was a full charter, paid for by Naomi's company. Every seat, from cockpit to tail. She handed the phone to the captain. His face blanched. Within minutes, the plane was grounded. Flight cancelled. Passengers deplaned. Chaos bloomed, all because they tried to push the wrong person. The Middletons hadn't even had valid tickets for this flight. They missed theirs the day before and tried to squeeze into first class, assuming their money could override protocol. Carla never verified their boarding passes. She saw rich and white and assumed power. Naomi didn't scream. She didn't argue. She simply made a call and ended the game. Carla was fired within hours. Blacklisted. By week's end, she was working retail. Captain Delaney was suspended, demoted, and reassigned to cargo. His arrogance had clipped his own wings. The airline settled for millions, and their stock price tumbled. But the most brutal fallout was reserved for Darren Middleton. His company's largest client was just acquired by Helix Dynamics. Naomi didn't even have to lift a finger. His name showed up on a supplier audit. His contract was cancelled. Bankruptcy followed. The world didn't burn him. His ego did. A first-class seat cost them everything. All because they assumed the black woman in it didn't belong. Naomi never wanted a fight. But when forced to choose between comfort and dignity, she picked dignity and grounded a plane to prove it.